the way you be cluing. Have we had enough of your lies for one night? Have we felt enough of our pain to know it's real? How do you feel? Sick and tired of the lies, all I'm feeling is the pain. It's the devil in disguise while I'm standing in the rain, water pouring from the sky. But you tell me the opposite, like I don't have a consciousness, like I'm stuck in the matrix and my brain's up for the taking. But we don't do that, I know my facts. They say that he was elected, but where the stats at? They say that jab the only way to get your life back, but if you have a heart attack then they will go to hide that. Look at the FDA acting like KKK, trying to run all our lives like we they brand new slaves. Lose the job, banned from playing segregation, all the same. They call themselves progressives, but they taking us all back again. Bring the world to darkness and sacrifice the children. Then when it's said and done, then you will never live with hope again. I say that we break the chains, we can't leave the world the same. Make love real again. As we fly above the truth, I ask of God, am I with you? I walk the path, go to the line, but still I feel that. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages from all across the world. How are we doing in the building today? Today is September 7th. It is 4 p.m. Today is a very nice Wednesday, which means it is time for the Chandler Brief, your twice weekly update for news, entertainment, politics, all the things that are happening in our nation, in the state of California, and sometimes the world. And I say the state of California today because I decided to fully name drop it here on our title. Now, most of you guys subscribed to my channel shortly after a certain video of mine I did a few years back where I covered all the things that were just straight up falling apart in California. And I think quite a few of you guys are still around here all the way back from that. Y'all just love hearing about how terrible California is doing, so I'm gonna base at least half of today's show around it because it's just straight up scary what's happening there. Now, as you guys know, California is a very massive state, and they've got a lot of people, a lot of Republicans live in California, believe it or not. There are technically, like, because of how populous that state is, there are more Republicans that live in California than most other states. It just so happens there's a whole lot more Democrats that live there too. So the scales are kind of tipped, even though there's at least a few million Republicans that live there, registered and everything, that vote. There's just so many Democrats that live there, even though California has something like, I think, 40 million or so people living in that state alone, and that's just a rough guesstimate off the top of my head. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in California. We're going to be jumping into rolling blackouts, their ban on gas cars that will be dropping in the next decade and a half, and all sorts of other straight up madness that is really going to make you wonder, how is this state going to survive yet another cycle? Because it really doesn't look like it is. That's the question. Anyways, shout out to Aaron Behringer, the Benjamins tuning in over on YouTube. Also shout out to my folks over on Rumble and my folks on Getter as well. We're always live on those platforms, so make sure you subscribe over there to never miss out on all of our content, including, but not limited to, the days when I eventually get banned off of YouTube, which, you know, we've always been counting down the day. We know it will happen, so make sure you support the channel. Subscribe to us over on Rumble. We're almost at 200 subscribers on our brand new Rumble channel, so make sure you get over there and hit that up there. Make sure you hit the Rumble button as well. Shay J is very right in hitting that. And Astral Chimp says 60 million people in California? Hold on, it's just a quick Google search away. Is it really 60 million? Okay, no, it's 39.35 million. So I said 40 million. I was pretty dang close, wasn't I? Yeah, okay, so that means there's a few million registered Republicans. You know, let's even look at California registered Republicans. Let's see if that'll give you a number. Okay, so 24% of registered voters in California are Republican, and I don't know if it states how many actual registered voters there are, but that still means at least a few million Republicans in that state, more than a lot of other states have in total, because of how big California is, which makes it such a big story that we're going to be jumping into today. But we're going to start off with a different state and a different House representative that doesn't have anything to do with California, but you're going to understand why I titled this stream California Blackouts Going Nationwide, because this is a major struggle for power. Literally. Representative from Ohio, Tim Ryan, who previously was running for president a couple years back, if y'all remember that, he criticized a plan by Bernie Sanders that said he wanted to ban gas cars in 2040. And he said that's not going far or fast enough. He says that in New Hampshire in 2019, he said that if we're waiting for 2040 to get rid of gas vehicles, we're doing something terribly, terribly wrong. Check this out.
We don't have to wait till 2050. The way things are moving, Senator Sanders and I got into this on the floor or on the debate a little bit. He was like banning gas cars in 2040. And in my mind, in all honesty, it's like, okay, great, whatever. But like if we're waiting for 2040 to get rid of gas vehicles, like we're doing something terribly wrong. We don't have to wait till 20.
And listen to the guy in the background go like, yeah, ain't that right, Tim Ryan? But I think it's about time we see the cost of banning gas vehicles, because now we have to jump into this story. Well, of course, we're going to see the story, first of all, of California banning sales of new gas-powered cars by 2035, and then you guys are going to hear about the rolling blackouts. Bear with me, this is funny. The California regulators are set to ban the sale of new gas-powered cars by 2035, a move that was expected to set the pace for a national and international shift to electric cars. Sorry, I don't know why that's still running. Let me mute that so that does not do that anymore. Okay, the California Air Resources Board was scheduled Thursday to approve the sweeping Advanced Clean Cars Act that would also gradually phase out gas-operated vehicles in the state over the next dozen years. Under the measure, 35% of vehicles manufactured in 2026 and sold in the state will be required to be zero emission, up from 12% they have restricted today. The green quotas would increase to 51% in 2028, 68% in 2030, and universally apply to all cars in 2035. SUVs, pickup trucks, you name it, they're gone. Used vehicles that operate on gasoline would be allowed to stay on the road and be resold, which seems like it might just be your last and best bet. The amendments to the act are consistent with a 2020 executive order from Governor Gavin Newsom that aimed to put the state on a path to carbon neutrality by 2045. The proposal will substantially reduce air pollutants that threaten public health and cause climate change. Board Director Daniel Sperling told CNN he was 99.9% confident the measure would pass. If approved in Sacramento, the regulations would be submitted to the EPA for a final rubber stamp. This is monumental, he said. This is the most important thing that CARB has done in the last 30 years. It's important not just for California, but it's important for the country and the world. Because the best thing for the power grid, the best thing for our climate, is to get everybody on electric vehicles, which still require, more often than not, coal and natural gas and other various dirty ways of powering our societies. It seems they can't quite fit this through their very small minds. They really can't. Because you have to understand, this power comes from somewhere. And as much as you want to say, well, let's just build 100,000 wind turbines that may or may not kill thousands of birds a year, and that's sometimes per turbine depending on where they are. But let's install all these wind turbines that generate enough power for maybe a couple thousand homes in one neighborhood. And that's a few hundred turbines. These things don't make that much energy. But no, we have solar panels, which are good. You can throw them on top of your roof and maybe power your home for a couple of hours. But in the end, the big scheme of things, these alternative power sources, although great in theory, just don't give us that oomph we quite need. And they want to make our reliance on the electric grid worse? Well, here's why. Here's why they can't do that. Because today, not in a decade and a half, in 2035 or so, don't excuse my math, it's not exactly a decade and a half by the number, but still, it's pretty close. 2035 is quite a bit far out. But even today, the California Power Grid Operator is issuing a Stage 3 alert level and says that rotating power outages might very well be possible. These are the same things we see in North Korea, okay? It's funny, but it's also no laughing matter that California and North Korea have quite a few things in common, that they're struggling with power. Now, I don't think we've got that many electric vehicles in North Korea, but I also think they don't have that many electric plants in North Korea, and that's why they're struggling. But in California, we have all these different facilities, and I think we even have a few nuclear power plants that produce a lot of energy at very little to no emissions and are very safe as long as you know what you're doing. But no, the alternative energies are supposed to keep us well-powered, and we need to make sure we have 100,000 new electric cars a day to plug in. All right, these are just rough numbers, but it's basically what they want, because a lot of cars get sold a day. A lot of people drive. That's just the way our society works. California's power grid operator declared a Stage 3 emergency energy alert Tuesday evening, warning that rotating power outages were very possible as a brutal heat wave has walloped the state, pushing electricity demand to its limits. And there's the Energy Emergency Act right there, alert. Please reduce your energy use. Several hours later at 8, the ISO ended the alert, which was initially scheduled to continue until 9. The grid operator said energy conservation played a big part in protecting electric grid reliability. Thank you, California, it added in a tweet Tuesday evening. California ISO warned residents early Tuesday to be prepared for the possibility of rotating power outages and issued an emergency energy alert for 4 p.m. to 9. Some 67,000 Californians were without power Monday evening, according to Power Outage US, while ongoing power outages affected more than 40,000 Pacific Gas and Electric Company customers across 28 counties. 28 counties, folks. This is serious. PG&E said California ISO had directed it to prepare for possible rotating power outages due to the potential for electricity supply on the larger Western regional grid to fall short of the increased demand. An energy declaration Monday evening pulled additional resources onto the system when the power grid was dipping into reserves and there was the risk of power outages. Peak demand was more than 49,000 megawatts. Now, let me put that into perspective for you. I don't even understand how much power 49,000 megawatts is. I know my computer uses, I think, a few kilowatts. Your phone has watt hours. These types of things all kind of collapse into each other. So you've got, I'm thinking, it's what is it? Megawatt hours. It's such complicated stuff, but to really put it into, that's a lot of energy right there. 49,000 megawatts. You will never expend that much energy in your entire life by walking, breathing, thinking. Like, they've calculated it, how much energy an actual human body uses if you compared it to, say, electricity, which some ways it can with brain power. It will never even come close to that in your entire life. That's a lot of electricity, that's a lot of power, and that's how far their peak demand was in California. And we want to make it higher. Make that make sense to me. I don't understand. California Governor Gavin Newsom, wearing what appeared to be a fleece jacket and hat, issued a statement Tuesday commending Californians' efforts so far, but qualified that everyone needs to double down to save energy after 4 p.m. In fact, even Eric Swalwell, who is a House representative, and I think he might be from California, said it's time to rally, California. We all need to do our part to help avoid power outages this week. Before 4 p.m., pre-cool your home. After 4, avoid use of major appliances and turn your thermostat to 78 or higher. Let's keep the lights on, California. This is sad. This is just sad. This is what you have to do in California right now. You have to tell people after 4 p.m., it doesn't matter if you want to cook dinner or anything, do not use your electric stove. You might have to unplug your fridge. You might have to stack some extra ice in your freezer to keep your meats and milk from, I don't know about milk, but meats and other things from spoiling, going bad. Because if you don't, all the power might go off. The power that, yeah, you do pay for, by the way. These people pay for the power. That's how power works. You pay that electric bill. And sometimes, because of how terrible these people run their state, there it goes. Snap. Gone. Like it was never there. It was never there. You never had that power. So, obviously, people that don't live in California are just gonna straight up laugh. 5 times August says, I can't even keep going. Maybe you could beg your Chinese spy to send some generators. People are really bringing it down, and we're just getting started. And we want to have more electric cars to worry about on the grid? Really? Our grid is stressed enough. Now, I think electric cars are a great thing. In fact, I'm very interested in getting an electric car myself just because I think it'd be very easy to work with these dang gas prices. But I also know you're going to have to absorb that cost one way or another. The electric cars are quite a bit more expensive than most normal cars are, at least the good ones are. And by normal cars, I mean a gas car. But there's also some caveats to it. An electric car takes longer to charge than a gas car. It's just liquid. It goes in. But also, more often than not, the electricity at the user end is cheaper. But that's just because that's what they want you to think. But in the end, we all know that it still balances out on our economy. We're still paying pretty much everything we've got for these cars. And if you're living in California, you're like, well, the gas cars are banned, so I have no choice but to go out and get a Chevy Volt or a Tesla Model 3 or one of those Ford F-150 Lightnings, I think that's what it's called, that Joe Brandon was driving around in earlier last year, trying to look all cool with his sunglasses, and then forgets where he's going, and the Easter Bunny has to pull him over, give him some AARP service, get him back on the road. But seriously, we get all these different cars, we plug them in California. Don't do it after 4 p.m. or the whole grid might go kaput. It might just die.
What?
It's gone. You don't have power anymore. But of course, that's what we're supposed to just accept. And Biden's energy secretary will say it's the right thing to do. Because obviously these people know how to run a country. They really, really do. They really, really do. Let me read a few comments here before we continue on. Let's Be Frank says, hello, my friend. Nice to see you, Frank. I appreciate you being in here. Astral says, Sue Trudeau wants Canada, to ditch oil, but the oil shale mine that is the size of England is still running and has plans for more expansion. Me thinks this is all bullcrap. Let's Be Frank says, the elites will not need to worry about. Yeah, they don't. They don't. Because they'll say no more gas cars, but that's because they're flying around in helicopters and jets now. Gavin Newsom ain't worried about their cars will still be running on gas. I guarantee it. Wait until 2035, 2036. I'll be 20 something, right around that. I cannot do my math right now, but yeah, I think I'll be freshly turning 30. Yeah, I turn 30 in 2034. So come back to me when I'm 31 or 32, and I guarantee you the Gavin Newsom of 13 years from now or whatever it is will still be driving around in that limo in California, and it's gonna have a little gas nozzle on the gas door. You're gonna pop it open. It still takes diesel, still takes gas, whatever it may be. Well, all the peons are having to jump into their two-door Nissan Leaf smart cars to get to and from work, and they also have to make sure they're charging at midnight instead of at 4 p.m. because, well, that's when everybody else wants to charge, and you can't do that. So you've got to spread the use. Can't you guys see how insane this whole thing is? And it's only going to get worse as we increase this demand while also decreasing our output. It's like they don't know how to run a state. They don't know how to run a country, or they want to run the state and or country into the ground, which a lot of people think they do, and for dang good reason. Let's hear from Biden's energy secretary, who is a woman, Jennifer Granholm. Very intersectional, diverse. That's what we need. Because why let men run in their country into the ground when we can let BLM, black people, let's Latinx, women, she, her, transgender, whatever it is, whatever. Says she backs regulations California's state government approved in August banning the sale of new gas-powered cars after 2034. Granholm answered a question about the new law, saying she backed it and commending California for leaning in on climate policy during an interview with the Los Angeles reporter Alex Michelson that aired Friday evening. Yeah, I do. I think California really is leaning in. And of course, the federal government has a goal of, that the president has announced by 2030, that half the vehicles in the US, the new ones sold, would be electric. There's the writing on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. We give these people another 4 years. Because keep in mind, Joe Biden, and he did file to run again. Let's run the numbers real quick. If he wins in 2024, he gets reinaugurated, or I guess he stays in office 2025. He's got 2025, 26, 27, 28. He stays in office until 2028, assuming he doesn't or anything terrible like that. Of course, Kamala Harris will be very proud of that. But 2028, he'll be sitting in office. So he can make that happen, considering how much executive power these people just love to flex for no dang good reason, aside from destroying our country. So he could make it happen by 2030. Not to mention, if we keep a Democrat Congress come these midterms, we have a couple of months until the midterms, and these people will be taking office by next year. They could rubber stamp whatever Joe Biden decides to push through, and next thing you know, that Chevy Tahoe that you've been buying each and every couple of years to just, you like it, you keep getting it, you get the same color, all that good stuff, next thing you know, it'll be electric, and they won't offer that gas bottle anymore. And then when you try to plug it in, your car will scream at you saying, you cannot charge your car at this hour, please wait until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to charge your vehicle. And then it won't charge. Now that all sounds very dystopian, but it's not fake. There was actually a story that came out earlier this month in California where your smart thermostats, which, I'm a big fan of, I love smart tech and all that, were automatically disabling you from being able to turn your home's temperature anything cooler than a set level they allow, or to use your AC because the demand was too high. It was going to overstress the electric grid. That is the power that these people are taking when the government, the big tech companies, and your home all become closer and closer, more meshed. They get control over what you can and can't do. So if you still have an analog system, great. You could turn that knob and it may sound not as great as the new ones, but it'll still kick and sput that cold air out to you. But some of these new systems, you're not in control, which is really dystopian to me. So is it that far off to imagine a day where your car screams at you for trying to plug it in at 2 p.m. instead of 2 a.m.? I think I can imagine it, and it's very scary to imagine. And Cool Roy says that was in Colorado. I think it's been in both places. I've definitely heard of it in California, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was in Colorado as well. Just insane stuff. On August 25th, the California Air Resources Board, in an effort to massively reduce carbon emissions produced by the state's transportation sector, yada yada, all new car sales beginning in 2035 are electric vehicles, but allowing existing gas vehicles to remain in operation. So the only way to really get around this is to keep driving around your old beater car that you have right now. So actually, my best advice is to get your gas cars as soon as you can. And I know it's gonna suck like a butt right now with these inflation prices and the supply chain, because all of our supplies are sitting out in the ocean because we won't let anything in. And that's a whole different story right there. But seriously, get your gas cars while you can. And just do it. Just keep fixing them up. And they've got all the tech in there to restrict your gas cars too. Don't get it twisted. Those electric cars and those gas cars have a lot of the same brains in them. But at the very least, you could probably gut it and do a little bit of work and make the gas car run like normal. Hopefully. This is a historic moment for California, for our partner states, and for the world as we set forth this path toward a zero-emission future. Chair of CARB, Lyanne Randolph said before the agency greenlit the law. The law could have a large nationwide impact since several states have tethered their environmental policies to CARB actions, which we're going to be talking about in a minute as well. But we got to keep going on about this. Right here is what I was just referencing. California's electric car mandate could spread to over a dozen other states. That's what I was saying about this problem being nationwide potentially. So many states have their rules and regulations connected to California that when this passes, states like, what was that, Washington, Massachusetts, and probably a few others, definitely a few others, will get locked onto that as well. We're going to go through that list in a minute, but I want to remind everybody that is watching us here on YouTube, I really appreciate you guys, but I need you to subscribe to our brand new Rumble channel. Like I said, YouTube does not appreciate me calling out the electric car czars that want to destroy your life and make it so that you can't charge your car until no one else is charging it, or the people that are literally shutting down your AC units. They don't want me to talk about it. They will shut me down too without fail. So make sure you subscribe to our Rumble channel right here. The link is in the chat and also in the description. Make sure you hit the like button on our Rumble and subscribe to the channel. All my content is up here, including exclusive gaming content only to Rumble, as well as all my political shows and content. So make sure you check it out and subscribe. We're trying to make our way up to 200 subscribers. I bet we could do it before the end of the show. So if you have a Rumble account or you're looking to join Rumble, that link is available down below. You can set me as your referral and you will gain access to all sorts of cool stuff. Plenty of YouTube creators are making the change to Rumble, including Viva Frey and many others who are signing exclusive deals so that they don't have to deal with YouTube or anything like that anymore, and you can be free from the chains of censorship and big tech. So once again, make sure you subscribe to our Rumble channel, and while you're over there, also make sure you check out our Locals, which is the partner platform to Rumble, and it's very similar to Patreon. You can see my community, all my exclusive content here that you don't see anywhere else, as well as the ability to financially support the show. You can also do that through Cash App or Donor Box down here, which allows you to join the Hall of Heroes up there. I'll talk more about that later on, but I know some of y'all are waiting to see if your state is on this list, so let's jump right into it. I know I'm kind of scared my state might be on it. I really doubt it, but let's see here. More than a dozen states are debating whether to adopt California's plan to ban new gas cars by the year 2035. Several of the 17 states are likely to move forward with the plan, including Washington, Massachusetts, New York, Oregon, and Vermont. There's going to be a few more. We'll check that list in a minute. California's restrictions are the strictest in the country, mandating that all new vehicles run on either electricity or hydrogen by 2035. The mandate is facing fierce pushback in states like Minnesota, where the Minnesota Auto Dealers Association argues that weather prohibits the use of solely electric vehicles, which is very true. It's not easy to run a car off of a lithium-ion battery when it's cold. That's just not how things work. The technology is such that the vehicles just don't perform that well in cold weather. Scott Lambert, who is the trade group's president, told the Associated Press. We don't all live in Southern California. Very, very true. Colorado is also among the states where the measure faces firm opposition. While the governor shares the goal of rapidly moving towards electric vehicles, he is skeptical about requiring 100% of cars sold to be electric by a certain date, as technology is rapidly changing. Meanwhile, Republicans in Virginia are attempting to cut themselves off from California standards. The state passed legislation subjecting itself to California standards in 2021 when Democrats controlled the legislature and the governor's office. Republican Governor Youngkin called the legislation ridiculous last week and has bent his administration toward cutting the ties. In an effort to turn Virginia into California, liberal politicians who previously ran over and ran our government sold Virginia out by subjecting Virginia drivers to California vehicle laws. He continues to say, and under that pact, Virginians will be forced to adopt the California law that prohibits the sale of gas and diesel-fueled vehicles. I am already at work to prevent this ridiculous edict from being forced on Virginians. California's out-of-touch laws have no place in our commonwealth. I'm going to see if I can find that full CRB state list, because I want to make sure we're not missing out on any. Let's see here. What are the CRB emission states? Because this is the law that they passed. And this is what could be scary. It's not telling me all of them. Let's see if I can find here. Okay, this is all of them. All right, you guys ready? Make sure to listen up for your state because you might be in trouble. California, obviously. Connecticut, Colorado, Delaware, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington State, and Washington, D.C. Most of these states have strict emission standards that require vehicles to be tested annually or biennially, every other year. Zero-emission vehicles are different from CARB states in that they are not only require strict emission standards, but also require automakers to sell a certain number of electric vehicles each year. These states are required to have 2.5% of their vehicle sales come from zero-emission electric vehicles. This bumps up to 8% in 2025. So these states that subjected themselves to this, including Virginia, or wait, I thought Virginia was on this list. Maybe that's something else. But either way, I know Virginia is going through it as well, something like that. These states have made the choice to get connected to this system, so they're going to have to deal with it. And just to really make things a bit more light on the show, this is what they're going to have to deal with. It's the guy, or it's a meme from The Matrix. Florida light bulbs or California candles? Choice is yours. The choice really is yours, folks. I don't know. Cool Roy says, whatever you do, don't let them install a smart thermostat in your home. I really am a fan of smart thermostats, so considering I live in a state like Georgia, I might do it anyways, but I also know that it is scary stuff to imagine. And I saw that story and I was like, ugh, yikes. Cesar Papa says, stay on YouTube channel. We can't allow them to run us off their platform. I am still on YouTube. Like I said, I will be here until they ban me, but I really, really strongly encourage you, and I mean very, very strongly, with the most strongest words that I can say without offending my mama, that you join us over on Rumble. I am serious, because I have gotten so many community guideline strikes. I'm still on one right now, so I can't apply for monetization or anything. Not like that even matters. But please join us over on Rumble. Like, you guys can watch us here on YouTube, but if you ever don't see my show for a few weeks and you don't follow me anywhere else, so you don't know if I've been banned or not, just follow me on Rumble. My content will always be there. I will never be banned on Rumble, and you gain access to all sorts of other content too that shares more of who I am personally, past politics. So make sure you join us over there. AO26 asks if I'm on Truth Social. I most definitely am. You can follow me over there just at Chandler. You can know it's my account because it'll look like this. And then last but not least, we are also on Parler as well, which still runs, by the way. I know some folks don't know if it's still up or not, but Parler is very but still up and running, and actually just returned to the Google Play App Store, which is really, really cool. And I just congratulated them about that. So make sure you follow me over on Truth Social or Parler. And of course, also Rumble as well. If you like YouTube and stuff like that, you'll never miss out. Thick Chris says, why not Odyssey? I am on Odyssey. I just don't stream there, but my videos are all published on Odyssey. And you know what, Thick Chris? I'll even prove it to you real quick. I will prove it to you real quick. We're going to go to Odyssey just for you, Thick Chris, because I see you commenting about it. And there you go. My most recent show was yesterday's show, 20 hours ago on Odyssey. So I am on Odyssey. All my stuff is up there, and you can see it. So we have some people that are loyally viewing me on Odyssey too. So shout out to all of them. If you're watching this on Odyssey, word up to you. I appreciate you. I have Odyssey automatically set up, so I am on Odyssey too. I try to be on as many places as I can. So you can find me over there. But gosh, I'm just seeing this meme again. It really is funny. We've got another story to jump into that finally moves us away from all this energy stuff, thankfully, out of the frying pan, in my opinion, into the fire with Barack Obama. We've been talking about Hillary Clinton back in the news cycle and all that madness, and I was not happy about it. But as if on cue, right on schedule, Barack Obama has returned to the fray. Now, thankfully, it's not anything political. He's not saying, I'm proud to endorse my wife to run for president against Joe Biden and Donald Trump in 2024, of which she would probably absolutely trounce Joe Biden. Although I guess Joe Biden does have a history of conquering people of color, despite being a member of the party that wants to endorse as many people of color as possible. You guys ever think about that? It's funny. The guy who said,
you ain't black,
is the one that got nominated by the inclusive and diverse Democrat Party. I don't know. Anyways, they weren't there to run for president or anything, Michelle Obama and Barack, but they were there to unveil their brand new White House portraits. Because I guess that is what you get as a former president. I wonder where Trump's is. The official White House portraits of former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama have been unveiled in a Wednesday ceremony. Obama chose artist Robert McCurdy for his portrait, and Michelle went with artist Sharon Sprung. Let's take a look at these gorgeous portraits, shall we?
Yes.
Don't click off. I promise it gets funny. Kind of bland. Wouldn't you agree? I think we've got a whole lot better portraits that we can get out of the yeah, I think that one's a whole lot more accurate right there. Come on now. That's a good portrait, right? It's accurate to the first family. That's this guy's son right here. This guy gave birth to this guy. Crack pipes, crack teeth, sleep in bed with a crack pipe in his mouth. That's pretty good right there. Come on now. Come on. No, it gets better. This is pretty accurate to Obama as well. And they just came out with this stuff within minutes of these portraits being posted out there, and that is in response to Barack Obama's basic portraits, just a white background. You might as well have I could have made this picture. I could have done this. I can't paint at all, but I could have made this in Photoshop that very easily. And of course, they claim somebody painted it, and I believe it probably is painted, although I see some people claiming it was traced, which I'm like, yikes, what happened to talent? But still, somebody made this very basic, at least this one is well, creative, I could say. You guys ever notice how tall Michelle Obama is? Let me get it back where she's, like, dang, she is the same height. Is Barack Obama just short, or, hold on. Let's look up Barack Obama height. I'm really curious about this. I didn't know Barack Obama is 6'2". Huh. It says right here, Michelle is 5'11". Huh. Ain't that something? I don't know. It's just a quick thing I noticed. She is mad tall. It says Barack Obama is 6'2", but she looked taller than him. I don't okay, she's wearing heels. That might be the great equalizer right there, but still, y'all in the comments, Aaron, you're gonna get me in trouble. You can't say that. That's misinformation right here. Oh, you better be careful, Aaron. So what do you guys think? I think this is pretty good right here. But of course, Barack Obama had to get there. He had to say something. And we've got some more memes to look at, but we've got to hear them first, right out of the horse's mouth. We have to.
All did together to expand health care, to fight climate change, to advance social justice, and to promote economic fairness. Thanks to your decency and thanks to your strength. Maybe most of all, thanks to your faith in our democracy and the
Bro, stop the cap, bro. Oh my gosh.
American people. The country's better off than when you took office, and we should all be deeply grateful for that. So thank you so much.
What?
What are we talking about?
Stop the cap.
What? The country is better off now? Forgive me, Barack, you must not have been watching. I spent the last 30 minutes talking about how one of our largest states by population is going to be undergoing, more than likely, rolling blackouts. In our fantastic first world country, democracy, which is doing so well and supposedly is the richest and most prosperous country in the world. Meanwhile, one of our biggest states is about to go through rolling blackouts. That's how great things are under Joe Biden. The Inflation Reduction Act, which is so aptly yet incorrectly named, is going to be raising taxes on people that are already struggling to make ends meet because gas prices are through the roof. And thankfully, they're coming back a bit down now because we cut our taxes. People that used to work their job getting gas to us are now looking for other jobs because, well, you can't build a pipeline no more. Joe Biden said bump that for climate change. I don't know how carrying gas through pipes is actually going to destroy the climate, but apparently the only thing that he cares about destroying is the bottom lines and wallets of the American people. But according to Barack Obama, who said there was no magic wand for fixing the economy back in 2016 before Donald Trump came and for 4 years waved that magic wand even through a pandemic and handed Joe Biden a recovering economy, of which Joe Biden took that magic wand, snapped it across his knees, and said, this is now Build Back Better country. This is the Dark Brandon country. Well, to Barack Obama, I know not every single person in America has a net worth of $70 million like he does, nor do they own homes at Martha's Vineyard. They can throw parties for their birthday in the middle of pandemics while everybody else is struggling to see their parents and loved ones that are passing away for various things. They can't go to funerals. They can't be in their rooms with their wives or girlfriends as they give birth to their children. These are all examples of things that happened while Barack Obama danced with thousands of birthday party goer guests with him. And he says that America is doing better. He says that we're fighting climate change. He says that the shores and the oceans are going to rise as he buys homes on said shores and oceans. No, Barack Obama, I demand that you and Joe Biden and everybody else who likes to get these cushy portraits painted at the White House so that everybody can walk past him and say, look at what he did for our country and salute, that we're not doing as great as you appear to be. We're not all as happy as you claim that we should be, Barack Obama. Some of us will soon be sitting in the dark because you can't buy a gas car anymore in California. You won't be able to in a few years. You might have to light a candle after 4 p.m. because if you left your stove on, the electric company might just have to turn off the power for your area. And so explain to me, through everything I just mentioned, which is not even a sliver of a percent of the terrible things that are happening to us right now, explain to me how we're better off now than we were in, say, 2019, when we had the most bombastic, booming economy, new restaurants, new buildings, new things all over the place, especially in red states which already had low taxes, were being built up, when we had some of the best trade agreements being forged with the U.S., Mexico, and Canada giving us better treatment from those two countries, as well as new trade deals and trade wars when we needed to do them with countries like China, holding them to bat. Explain to me how we're better off now than we were then, because I'm thinking that we waved a magic wand, the devil's wand, and that wand destroyed our country and made people like Obama, Biden, Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton a whole lot safer doing whatever they want to our country and a whole lot richer scamming the American people out of their hard-earned taxpayer dollars as they raise taxes. So we got to look at yet another way more accurate portrait that they unveiled at the White House today. Totally they did. Watch this.
Yes. Okay.
This is good.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. This is the ultimate payback. How can you say that the American people are doing so much better when they are going out of their way to make hilarious memes like this? This is a multi-layered meme right here. I'm gonna break it down for y'all. This, obviously, it's the portrait thing. Let's start with Michelle Obama. They made it very simple. They just threw an F Joe Biden sticker. Not too much about it. But Barack Obama, this meme is so gorgeous and esoteric, it needs explanation. That's Bill Clinton. An image of Bill Clinton that was found, I believe, on in Epstein's property of him in a dress. And then they photoshopped Barack Obama's face over Bill Clinton's. And then another photoshopper, I believe, put that image, actually made it into a video. I believe it was Not Poso that did it. Shout out to him. And put that image on the portrait in this video. It's too good. It's too good. So once again, I beg Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, all these people that say they're so innocent and they've done nothing but preserve our democracy as people have less trust in their elections than they've ever had before and have rebuilt our economy when less people are making the money that they were making that before, and claiming they rebuilt the jobs when it's really the Trump recovery that built the jobs back, gave us these jobs back, that these same jobs aren't actually going anywhere. We're not gaining jobs. We're just recovering what we had before. And these Inflation Reduction Acts that aren't reducing inflation whatsoever and in fact are doing quite the opposite. Explain how you're helping us, because I don't see it. And I don't think anybody in this building sees it either. I don't. Dagny Taggart says Big Mike and heels and some people shrink. Oh, the memes we will meme. So very true. Cool Roy says Obama loves it, America in decline. Don't call her Big Mike for nothing. Oh, now I get it. Oh, y'all are terrible. Deadpan Sanchez says, oh, Bummer has been in his lovely beachside estate for a long time to be more tone deaf than he was as president. I'm sorry. I just love the phrase, oh, Bummer. I think that's the funniest thing ever. Every time I say Obama when I'm talking to my friends or talking to people, I say, oh, Bummer. Because it really is. It's the best phrase. It really is. I don't know, guys. I try my best to walk through the shows and the stories here, but it's difficult. It really is difficult with how crazy things are. Once again, I want to remind everybody that we had in here. Make sure you smash that like button if you're watching us here on YouTube and join us over on Rumble. Shout out to the people that are watching us over on Rumble right now. I see we've got the growing numbers, so word up to all y'all. There is a live chat feature, so you can chat with us over on Rumble and all that good stuff. My folks over on Gitter as well, I'm not forgetting about you. Word up to all y'all. Thank you guys so much for being tuned in to today's episode of the Chandler Brief. We do this show every week on Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 p.m. We also do a show called Crump Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8, so we'll be back tomorrow at 8 for our next political show. But if you want to see more Chandler today, I'll be back doing some more gaming with the Geeks and Gamers tonight, only on Rumble, and that will start at 10 p.m. tonight, and we'll be going for the long haul, so we're going to do a 4-hour stream tonight. So if you want to have some fun with me, hang out tonight. Even if you aren't really a big gamer, we still have lots of conversations about all sorts of fun stuff. Make sure you tune in tonight over on our Rumble channel at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And you'll see our stream here. I'm going to schedule it soon. I'll leave the link in all my social media so you don't miss out. And all my stuff is listed up there. So thank you guys so much for being tuned in. Big shout out to everybody who's donated to support the show in the past or is looking to very soon in the future. Shout out to Dagny Taggart, Deadpan Sanchez, all the people we had in the building today. And aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence. Peace out, and y'all have a great afternoon. I'll see you soon.